Welcome to On the Chain.
John Deaton has pulled up some really great stuff here, and we've kind of covered it. He's had some really good tweet storms over the past week, but here we go. Huge exculpatory evidence, right? The August 20th, 2018 meeting between Clayton and Hinman with Brad Garlinghouse and Joel Katz. So look at the date, right? This meeting is 2.5 months after the Hinman speech declaring Bitcoin and Ethereum. So here we have, and now we know for a fact that Hinman gave a speech declaring Bitcoin, Ethereum non-securities, gave a speech that was not his personal opinion because they began to utilize his commentary as guidance towards how they were going to respond. So it was not personal opinion as much as they tried to frame it. They could package it. They could put a bow on it. They can put it in glittery paper. They can put it in paper with flowers on it. They could put a gold leaf bow on it. It doesn't matter how they try to deliver this speech from Hinman. It was not personal opinion. It does not matter whether, it was not personal opinion. And the fact that there was 2.5 months, that there was a meeting 2.5 months later with Clayton Hinman, Garlinghouse, and Joel Katz over this exact topic. So look, frustrated that only 2 of the top 3 cryptos were provided regulatory clarity, Garlinghouse and Schwartz asked what they could do to achieve similar clarity for XRP. So Garlinghouse said Ripple's living in purgatory because of this lack of clarity. So this goes back to 2018. This is 2.5 months after the Hinman speech. 2.5 months after, right? At that moment, if Clayton and Hinman truly believed XRP was a security, they would have informed them right there, right? So why didn't they? Why didn't they say it? If they said, well, no, Bitcoin, Ethereum are, but guess what? XRP isn't. But how is the response? The meeting was not the proper forum for a discussion about that topic. What was going on behind the scenes? Who was operating behind the curtain that were pulling the strings that told them that they couldn't respond on XRP? What exactly was unfolding at that time, which goes back to our premise and narrative that there was more to it than just the digital asset themselves. There has to be more of a political element that wraps in and around the banking infrastructure, that wraps in and around SWIFT. So now, as we're seeing, right, they're trying to block Russia from utilizing SWIFT. Now, Russia has its own SWIFT mechanism in place. And we also know that if you cut a country like Russia off from SWIFT, it's not going to have as much of an impact as they believed that it would have. However, they chose not to terminate Russia's access to SWIFT, mainly because you have countries like Germany and others, and even the US, that are still relying on gas coming out of Russia. Now, this notion of SWIFT, which, as we know, is the messaging component to allow banks to communicate wire transfers with each other as you're moving money cross border. So that element, and there has to be a component of that was looking at what Ripple is doing with RippleNet and saying, you guys are stepping in a hornet's nest, and we're not going to allow you to easily go in and step in this area that we control, which is SWIFT, which is allowing banks to communicate all of these cross-border transactions. We're not going to do it easily. We're going to put up every barrier of entry possible. So now you go forward, neither Clayton nor Hinman informed Garlinghouse that XRP was a security. Instead, Clayton then asked Garlinghouse to back up from the issue and steered the meeting to a discussion about Ripple's business in technology. Well, there you go. So that kind of unfolds and kind of gets into their mind a little bit, and you start understanding what their agenda was, right? What is their agenda? What is the element behind the curtain that is dictating the outcome of these conversations? So here you have John Dean. In fact, at the end of August 20th, 2018, Clayton said, encouraged the Ripple executives to continue ongoing discussions with the staff, the Division of Corporate Finance. Now, and John brings it up, it's smart, right? At no time during this meeting did Clayton or Hinman or any other SEC official indicate that ongoing sales of XRP in 2018 were securities. So at this time, since 2012, 2013, all the way to 2018, all these meetings, all these discussions, all these touches between Ripple and the SEC, there was not one moment in time where the SEC told the leadership that, in fact, XRP and ongoing sales of XRP were considered to be a security. Not once. Yet, after a couple years, they decide they were going to drop this massive lawsuit and point fingers at the leadership of Ripple to then state that you were selling unregistered securities. Yet there were multiple meetings, and not in one of those meetings did they indicate in any way, shape, or form that they should cease and desist because they were treading into the sale of unregistered securities. And they're meeting with the top people. So nothing. So John Dean says, and remember, the SEC has conducted a Howey analysis of XRP. Now think about the Howey test, right? Because Gary Gensler always references one element of the Howey test, never references all of the Howey tests, always only focuses on one element. But the last I looked, Gary Gensler is not an attorney either, but he always just references one component of the Howey test. Now, Dean is saying, remember, the SEC has conducted a Howey analysis of XRP dated June 13th of 2018. If the memo concluded XRP was a security, Clayton and Hinman would have informed Garlinghouse that XRP was in fact a security and would have told him, stop selling it. You must register. But guess what? That did not happen. So there are all these touch points between the SEC and Ripple, and then nothing. No communication. Zero. The truth is, the first time Ripple or its executives are informed that the SEC considers XRP a security is 2 years later. 2 years. So September of 2020. They launched the lawsuit in December of 2020. So 2 years. They've had all these multiple discussions. And this is on the heels of Hinman giving a speech that has become factual, that was not his personal opinion, that it was the opinion of the agency, because they were using it as guidance, that Bitcoin and Ethereum were not securities.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.